Hi and welcome to Polly Puts the Colour On. In this video I'm going to be sharing a chatty flip through of one of the gorgeous new books by Maria Trolle, the Christmas one. I think this translates to the colours of Christmas or all the colours of Christmas. When I put it into Google it kept coming up with different options, but it's quite clearly a Christmas book looking at the cover. So it's got the gorgeous gold foiling that we've come to expect on her books, a little bit on the back as well, and obviously you can see here some of her other books. So I have or will have a chatty flip through of the other new book by Maria Trolle, the Seasons one. The other ones I've got so far are the compilation one, the universe one, Shooting Star, Fairy Tale, and I do have Flora. That's the only one out of the older books that I've got, and the only reason I picked that up, to be honest, was because I saw it for a really cheap price on Vinted. I think including postage it was only £5, because I thought, well, I've got the compilation one, which obviously includes some pages from kind of most of these other books. So I thought, oh, do I want it? And I was like, can't resist at that price, because some of the pages that I really love in that book aren't actually in the universe one. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So this book is the same size as her last few books, Shooting Star, Fairy Tale, and the Seasons one. They're all the same size, all gorgeous hardbound. I will include a link down in the description below. It isn't an affiliate link because so far this book isn't available on Amazon UK. Obviously, at some point it will be when they do the English version, but I was a bit impatient and I've ordered from iMusic. I have bought from there before. It's always come really well packaged, really good delivery, like no issues whatsoever. So I would thoroughly recommend buying with them if you haven't done before. It's a really good site to buy through if you're trying to get hold of something that isn't available in your country usually. So we can open up, we see lovely pretty blue here with some snowflakes, and then as she usually does, there's a few little motifs at the start, which are always a useful way to perhaps try what pens and pencils are going to work nicely in the book. Must admit, I've not translated that bit. I will do at some point, but again, we've got a few little bits and pieces that you could colour while you work out what you like on the paper. Now, the very different thing with this book compared to her other books, it's single-sided. So although it is the same size as her usual books, there's obviously half as many images because it is single-sided. So, if you're only going to use pencil and you don't really use any other kind of medium, you might be thinking, that's not so good value. For me, I really like the fact it's single-sided. I might use alcohol markers. I might not. It depends on the image, but it gives me that option. And also if I wanted to use watercolour paints, pencils, ink tints, stickles, whatever I fancied using, you haven't got to worry about it going through to the other side. I think that's the main thing. So you could still experiment, have fun, even if you don't use alcohol markers, without worrying about the other side. And I know for me as well, as somebody who's right-handed, although I will colour images on the left and it's really, it's not an issue, I do kind of prefer working on the right-hand side in a book. I obviously do it subconsciously and don't even really think about it. But I have kind of noticed over the last few years when I've been looking through my books, I do tend to go for the images that are on this side of a book, which I'm guessing is because that's more comfortable for me to work on. I don't know. It might just be a coincidence, but yeah, so her images are slightly simpler very slightly simpler than some of her other books, not like massively, but I do think, having watched some flip throughs of her first couple of books compared to her newer ones, I think she has simplified her line art. You can still tell it's her art, it's still gorgeous, but I think she doesn't quite put as many lines on anymore, which for me I think is a good thing, because then I think it's a bit easier to see what's what. So I do really like this one with the fox. Fox is one of my favourite animals, so this one's really, really sweet. So obviously it's a lovely wintry, Christmassy kind of book, but there are some pages, like I think that fox one at the start, yes, you could, obviously make that into snow, Well, you could colour that green, couldn't you? And that could be coloured any time of the year. And yeah, I guess it's meant to look like the snow on the house, but maybe it's just a thatched roof. So although there is some pages like this one that are very, very Christmassy, I do think there is some that could work kind of at other times of the year as well. I do think that one's sweet. So I will probably try my alcohol markers in this book and see how they get on, because I know in Lulu Mayo's new one, Lulu's House of Wonder, that's single-sided, and I wasn't sure how well my alcohol markers would work on that, because the line art's not, it's not got the thick chunky lines that the cute and cozy books have. But my alcohol markers worked absolutely fine in that book. So I think I probably will try and do that in these. Probably go over with some shading as well, but I do think I probably will try and use alcohol markers because it's single-sided. I feel like I may as well, and then I can come in with other things as well. Because I've got a lot of alcohol markers and I do really love using them because they're nice and comfortable in your hand, aren't they? I love this one. They're obviously getting all the candles lit, and that cat's like eyeing them up like, don't disturb me, I'm comfy by the fire, thank you. That one's a sweet one. I like the little love hearts that are around the mistletoe there. That's sweet. This is a pretty one as well. I think some pages might be a bit easier to do with alcohol markers. Some probably wouldn't work as well, but like I say, it's lovely paper, so whatever you use in here I think would be amazing. I love this one. Look how cozy they look reading that book. That's a pretty one. You get some lovely sparkle on those ornaments. Really pretty. Like I say, this one's not quite so Christmassy, is it? Kind of very reminiscent of the Shooting Star book there, with that shooting star and up there with those deer. It's a bit like almost as if we've got those same deer again, but showing you the woodland that they're in. And then we've got a nice snowman, but he's even got some bird food there, or it looks like squirrel food actually, because it looks like the squirrel's helped itself to one. It's a pretty one. I love how simple that one is, but the expression on the little squirrel's face just looks so peaceful. Nice lady there selling things, different sweets and things. Love how even though it's like a market stall, she's still got some animals in there to colour as well. So this, I think, would look lovely, coloured all nice and bright with all those different sweets. You could use gel pens and all sorts, couldn't you, to make the packets look really shiny. Woo, that's a lot of presents there balancing. So I absolutely love Christmas. It's my favourite time of the year. Husband and daughter chuckle at me. They're like, you're a big kid, because I love putting the decorations around the house. We have to be careful what we put out, because we've got 3 cats and the house cats, and they're a bit bonkers. 2 of them are ginger cats, and if you've ever owned a ginger cat, you'll know what I mean. So we don't have a Christmas tree inside the house. We have one outside, but I put decorations up in basically every single room. I've got all sorts of ornaments. Even the bathroom has a Christmas mat down. Everywhere in the house there's something Christmassy. We've got Christmas bedding. So it is still very festive in our house, even if we don't actually have a tree indoors. That's a sweet one. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting some Christmas colouring done. So definitely want to try and get to this book in December, if not before. But I know I've got a lot lined up already for November, so I think this one probably will be in December. But it'd be nice to get at least a couple of pages hopefully done. Love this one. This is so pretty. Love polar bears. That one again, I feel like that could be coloured any time of year, because it's a polar bear in the snow, and that's where they live, isn't it, for a lot of the year. Obviously, dependent on if the snow's melted, if it's a hot summer, but it's not that Christmassy, is it? So that one I think definitely could work whenever. This one maybe not quite so much. This is a very Christmassy page, isn't it? Obviously, if you take part in Christmas in July, this would be a great book to use then. It's something I never have taken part in before. Every year I think, oh, that might be fun to do, and then every year I kind of forget I get to July and I'm engrossed in colouring something else. So maybe next year I might do Christmas in July. Show my Christmas books a bit more love. This is a sweet one. This is so lovely. Those little bears all fast asleep. I love how there's all the little lights up in the trees as well. That's really cute. Oh, Santa. Busy delivering. It's a pretty one. And another cat. Always lots of cats in their books, which I absolutely love. And again, another one. Eyeing up the ornaments. Hopefully they're not going to break them all. Nice little gingerbread house with the candy canes. Looks like somebody's already started to eat the bits off the house. That's a cute one. It does look a little slightly creepy, I think, the faces without the colour on. But obviously, once you've coloured it, they will look adorable, won't they? But I don't know. There's something about the eyes not being coloured in, isn't there? It just looks a bit creepy at the minute, but it will be lovely when it's coloured in. That one, I love that one. So sweet. They're sat together at the table. You can see obviously there's lots of snow in the window, so you can just imagine how warm and cosy they're feeling inside out of that cold weather. That one's pretty. Again, another one with a fox. Again, not super Christmassy. It's, you know, it's got kind of Christmas trees in, but equally those trees do exist all year round, don't they? So it's a pretty one. Very Christmassy one there with Santa, and that's the last one. So like I say, there is less images obviously in this. I think there's about, well, I think there's 40 actual images, and then obviously if you include the little motifs, then that obviously makes it up to 3 makes it up to 43. So not quite as many obviously as in her double-sided books. But for me, I think, you know, it's a Christmas book. I might colour in it a bit the rest of the year, you know, the less Christmassy ones. But I kind of appreciate the fact that it is single-sided because it just gives me the option. It doesn't have to be alcohol markers, but you could use watercolour paints or whatever. Like I say, you haven't got to worry about the fact it might ruin the other page. So I do think that's, like, it's nice to have the option, isn't it, of using whatever you want without having to worry about the back. Sometimes even certain gel pens can end up ghosting through, can't they? So, you know, I do appreciate the fact that it is single-sided. And let's face it, we've all got far too many books and far too many pages that we're never going to colour them all anyway. So I think having slightly less images in a book isn't too much of an issue for me because, you know, I'm still never going to colour all of the ones in this book, I don't imagine. Not unless I keep colouring and colouring and colouring, hopefully up until, you know, I don't know, I'm 200 years old. So hopefully you've enjoyed this a little chatty flip through. Maybe let me know what your favourite page is. I do love the ones with the bears. I really love that one where they're fast asleep as well, even though they're not the most Christmassy pages out of the book. Where have those bears gone? I do think the bears are, where's he gone now, the other one? Oh, lost him. But yeah, I think the bears might be my favourite pages out of the book. They're just adorable. So maybe let me know your favourite down below. If you have this book or you get this book, maybe get in touch for a buddy colour in December, or, you know, maybe one of the last Christmassy pages in the new year. That would be lovely. It's always nice to hear off new colouring friends, or, you know, buddies that I've buddied with before, you know, get in touch again, always up for it. So thank you so much for watching. Like I say, I'll include a link down below, but it won't be an affiliate link. It just might help you to find this book. And like I say, I've bought off iMusic a few times now to get a hold of the Hannah Carlson books, mainly over the last kind of year or so, since Book Depository's not been a thing. And iMusic, it's been great, no problems at all with them. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.